Hello and welcome, I'm Joshua Barnes and you're watching NewsX World. Let's first take a look at our top stories. The death toll in Myanmar from the devastating earthquake has now risen to at least 1,002 people according to the junta, though experts predict it could reach into the tens of thousands. Rescue operations are ongoing in Myanmar and in Bangkok, where a high-rise building under construction collapsed, leaving 100 people trapped. US President Donald Trump has vowed to send aid to Myanmar following the 7.7 magnitude earthquake and following aftershocks. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has dispatched the first emergency aid from India, totalling 15 tons as world leaders pledge support for the nation. Israel has struck southern Beirut for the first time since the November Hezbollah ceasefire after rockets targeted Israel from Lebanon. The strikes targeted a Hezbollah stronghold in the southern suburbs. President Donald Trump says the US needs Greenland for international security. Vice President J.D. Vance slammed Denmark for not keeping the mineral-rich island away from Russia on his visit to a US base in the Danish-run autonomous territory. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy says a new US draft minerals deal is entirely different to the previous version, saying that it requires further assessment by lawyers. Meanwhile, deadly Russian strikes have hit Dnipro as Ukrainian drones destroy Russian missiles. New Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says US President Donald Trump respected Canada's sovereignty in their first phone call since Carney was appointed. Trump said the call was extremely productive, though he signalled tariffs would still be going ahead. A new wave of US strikes targeting Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels have killed at least one person and injured 4 others. Houthi-run media report that 14 strikes hit near Sadr, a stronghold for the Houthis who continue with their attacks on Red Sea shipping. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump says that bad things will happen to Iran if they do not agree to a nuclear arms deal. Trump has previously threatened military action if no deal is agreed to quickly. We start off with the devastating earthquake that has hit Southeast Asia and particularly Myanmar, where the epicentre of the quake was. According to Myanmar's ruling junta, the death count from this massive earthquake has now jumped to at least 1,002 people. We're hearing that also 2,376 people have been injured, but these totals are expected to rise. Experts saying that they could go into the tens of thousands. Another earthquake of a magnitude 4.2 struck Myanmar late on Friday, this one of many aftershocks, the strongest 6.4 in magnitude. These all, of course, causing further damage following the major 7.7 magnitude quake. The National Centre for Seismological reported the tremor at a depth of 10 kilometres. The international response has been strong. India has sent 15 tonnes of essential relief material, which include tents, food and medicine to aid Myanmar's recovery. Meanwhile, the United States has announced massive cuts to US aid, but Donald Trump has assured that continued aid for the region's earthquake victims will continue. In a related incident, Afghanistan was also shaken by a 4.7 magnitude earthquake earlier on Saturday, just one day after Myanmar and Bangkok's powerful tremor. Rescuers from China and Russia have been dispatched to assist with relief efforts in Myanmar, with teams bringing life-saving equipment and medical supplies. China's Yunnan province set a 37-member team, while Russia deployed 120 rescuers to aid in the search for survivors. The death toll in Myanmar continues to rise. As mentioned, 1,002 confirmed deaths. Let's take a look at what the governor and citizens of Bangkok have had to say after the tremors hit that region.
ใช่ภาวนาให้ลูก
เขา
ไป
ก็
ที่โรง
ยั
พ
ง
ยาบาลแล้ว
ไม่ได้แจ้งอะไรเลยว่าชื่ออะไรไปอยู่โรงพยาบาลมั่งอะไรเงี้ยก็อาจจะไปอยู่โรงพยาบาลหรือว่าไงเนี่ยให้คิดไปฝั่งนู้นดีกว่าก็ภาวนา
ใน
ไว้
ทางที่ดีไว้ก่อน
โอ้ยใจหายเลยไม่นึกไม่ฝันว่าจะเจอเหตุการณ์แบบนี้ทำใจยังไม่ได้เลยเนี่ยสั่นไปทั้งตัวเลยหลานสาวด้วยนะไม่รู้จะเจออะไรภาวนาขอให้ปลอดภัยเนาะเราก็นั่งลุ้นเราทำอะไรไม่ได้ก็ลุ้นอย่างเดียว
Well, joining us to discuss the updates that we've had within the last half an hour or so is Brian Thomas, our correspondent with NewsX, who's joining us from Bangkok, the Triodos City Marina. Brian, we have got an updated figure from the Myanmar junta. The death toll has now topped 1,000 people. The number of injured also tops 2,000. How can we expect this death toll to change throughout today as rescue efforts continue?
Well, definitely. Right now, I'm at Triodos City Marina, and definitely I am reporting from Bangkok. And the situation in Myanmar has been getting worse since yesterday, when that 7.7 Richter scale, earthquake jolted Myanmar, and post that also there were several, lesser Richter scale quakes were also, putting tremors at Myanmar. You talk about 2.3, 4.4, 4. There were such 3 to 4 more quakes that had jolted Myanmar as well. And even talking about the death toll, definitely now the death toll has risen to more than 1,000. And very importantly, also as rescue efforts have been going on, where the authorities are taking, the stock of the situation. They're putting all efforts. They're working 24/7. They're putting out ready-to-eat materials. They're putting out sleeping pods. They're putting out generators. They're putting out all the necessary cares about medicine, medikits, everything possible, so that the people who have been rescued can get further assistance. Also, the ambulances have been kept. The ambulances are underway. There have been more than 100 to 100 authorities, officials also who are working from yesterday till now and will be working more. And as the efforts have been underway also to secure the people, to rescue the people, the death toll is also increasing, because we are getting a clearer picture. They're getting a better, transparent picture also. Earlier, the death tolls were around 694, 695, and now with more efforts underway, the death toll has risen to 1,000 in Myanmar. And even in Bangkok also, the under construction 33-story under construction building also saw the wrath, where unfortunately more than 10 people has lost their lives. More than 100 people have been, they were rescued, and there's more still 6 to 15 people who are still under the rubble, even though the exact data is still is not known to the authorities itself, how many people. But as days progress, as the efforts are underway, the authorities will be more, getting more clearer picture, more transparent pictures about what is exactly the situation, because they've been working 24/7. They've been working from yesterday afternoon, and even these buildings, these are huge buildings. These are big story buildings, 32-story buildings. And even to entirely normalize the situation will also, we are talking about, it will be taking more than a month, 3 weeks to 1 month is that time also that will be taken to ensure that it is in a better situation. It is coming under normalcy, because the roads near those areas have also been cordoned off. They have been closed for the public to travel. There's a mall also nearby that that building, which is the JJ Mall, which is, again, it's a bustling area where people come. People like to go out, but that entire road has also been blocked, has been stopped, because of the situation that had happened, that jolted both Myanmar and Bangkok as well. Yes.
Yes, Brian, of course, people waking up this morning in Thailand and across Southeast Asia and the regions that have been affected 24 hours almost after this earthquake shook everyone to the core. What can you tell us about the feeling that you're seeing in Bangkok, where you are right now? What are people feeling?
Well, when we were speaking to the rescue team also, when we were talking to the people also, they were all hoping that it becomes normal, even though, yes, there were people who were saying clearly that, yes, the situation in the other parts of Bangkok is better, but in the areas where it is affected, it is not very normal there. It is still a difficult time there. And also, I like to show you one such visual also, This is this very high-rise building that is here. Now, this building has also seen a few cracks also that happened when the earthquake happened at 2 p.m. It lasted for around a minute or so, more than a minute, maybe 2 minutes. And this building also saw a few cracks also because of the earthquake. The infinity pool, the water was also, the water also spilled out. Fortunately, there were no one, there wasn't anyone who was swimming or who was in the pool. So the death toll obviously is nil here. But again, these are situations that people were facing. People were sharing their ordeals of the fact that when they were standing, they did not know what was happening. They couldn't understand that what is happening. They were feeling dizzy. They had there was a state of panic. They did not know how to react because at that point of time, you see people are in a lot of anxiety. A presence of mind is what you need at that point of time. And yesterday till now, also many people are still in shock. Many people have lost their loved ones. Also, they are still hoping what exactly happened. But this was an unfortunate situation that happened that jolted both Myanmar and Bangkok as well. Yes.
Yes, Brian, absolutely. Those rescue efforts continuing. Up to 100 people currently still unaccounted for in the building that collapsed, the building that was under construction in Bangkok. Up to 320 people on site. As mentioned, 100 still missing. The families still waiting to hear if their loved ones have been found. Brian earlier went to the site where this audit building had collapsed. Let's take a look at those visuals now.
Well, we are in Bangkok and we are just outside the state audit building. Yesterday itself, a massive earthquake jolted Bangkok, and there are many skyscrapers, many such high-rise buildings that fell prey to the very earthquake again. Let me show you these exclusive visuals ahead. This is the very audit building. Unfortunately, a powerful 7.7 earthquake struck Myanmar, causing significant damage in neighboring Thailand, which includes the collapse of this 33-old office of the Auditor General office. Again, if you see these visuals also, you can get an understanding that at least 30 people have been confirmed dead from the building collapse. Injuries are more than 68 individuals that have been sustained injuries and have been transferred for nearby hospitals. And also missing, there are around over 100 people that are still unaccounted for. You can see these visuals also that is ahead. I'll be attempting to show you these exclusive visuals for you to get a understanding. You can see the debris as well. There are officials who are there who are trying to make the situation better, take out the situation to normalcy. And this is a situation that is here in Bangkok itself, where the officials are here, they are deployed, and they are here to ensure that if there are any people who are stuck inside, because there are 100 people who are still unaccounted for, so they are trying to take these people out. They are trying to clear the debris as soon as possible, and there are many officials there also who are stuck. There have been cranes also that have been put there to make sure that it becomes normal again, because this entire area, if I show you, this entire area has been properly cordoned off as well, so that it becomes better and there is not much public movement as well. And as a result of that also, Bangkok is normally a busy area. It's full of traffic jams, but because of this incident as well, the traffic has also minimized a lot. So people are facing a lot of problems, and in each sections also, the traffic police, the Thailand traffic police, the Bangkok traffic police have put out kiosks. They've put out water bottles, they put out food items so that people can, even who are stuck here, who are unaccounted for, they can come and they can take these food items out and can be at a better situation. This is me, Brian Thomas, signing off from Bangkok for NewsX World.
Yes, we saw there the scenes from Thailand. Of course, the picture from Myanmar not as clear. Over 1,000 dead, with that expected to rise, and we will continue to bring you all of those updates on the rescue efforts as we get them. But we move on, and the US State Department have said that Israel is defending itself from rocket attacks launched from Lebanon. The US also urged Lebanon to disarm terrorist groups like Hezbollah. This is what the US have had to say.
Israel is defending its people and interests by responding to rocket attacks from terrorists in Lebanon. As part of the cessation of hostilities agreement, the government of Lebanon is responsible for disarming Hezbollah, and we expect the Lebanese armed forces to disarm these terrorists to prevent further hostilities. The reason that any attacks have happened is because terrorists launched rockets into Israel from Lebanon. That is a violation of the cessation of hostilities. It is a violation of the ceasefire when terrorist groups, when armed groups, shoot rockets into Israel.
Well, this statement comes after Israel's first strike on Beirut's southern suburbs since November's ceasefire agreement. Israel targeted a Hezbollah drone storage unit after 2 rockets were fired from southern Lebanon into northern Israel. 1 rocket was intercepted while the other failed to cross the border. Hezbollah did deny any involvement, but Israel called it a violation of the ceasefire. Lebanon's President Joseph Aoun condemned the strike. He called for international action to ensure Israel respects the decisions. Meanwhile, France, one of the mediators, also reacted.
Nous attendons d'avoir les rapports complets. À ce stade, en effet, nous n'avons pas eu d'informations signalant des frappes du Hezbollah et des activités militaires au sud. Et donc, les prochaines heures nous permettront de clarifier la totalité de ces points, mais à ce stade, je peux vous dire qu'il n'y avait pas d'activité qui justifiait des frappes.
Moving on, the US Vice President J.D. Vance has accused Denmark of failing to protect Greenland from increased threats from Russia and China. During a visit to a US military base in Greenland, Vance claimed that Denmark has underinvested in the security of the autonomous territory and its people. He suggested that the United States could provide better protection and security to Greenland, particularly in the face of aggressive actions from other nations. Vance added that the United States is ready to invest more resources into the region, including naval ships and military icebreakers. He emphasised the importance of the US leading in the Arctic, especially as countries like Russia and China show increasing interest in the area's strategic waterways and mineral resources. Let's listen in to what Vance had said to say.
Our message to Denmark is very simple. You have not done a good job by the people of Greenland. You have underinvested in the people of Greenland, and you have underinvested in the security architecture of this incredible, beautiful landmass filled with incredible people. That has to change. We do not think that military force is ever going to be necessary.
As Vance's visit was underway, Trump spoke with reporters at the White House, saying that the US needs Greenland to ensure the peace of the entire world. He also stated that the United States needed to have Greenland. These comments came in the context of the rising influence of Russia and China in the region. Both Vance and Trump maintained that a partnership with the United States would be beneficial to Greenland, providing it with both stronger defence and economic opportunities. Vance made it clear that the US respects Greenland's sovereignty, but believes the territory would be safer and thrive more under US protection. Let's hear what Trump said.
We need Greenland, very importantly, for international security. We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can't. If you look at Greenland right now, if you look at the waterways, you have Chinese and Russian ships all over the place. And we're not going to be able to do that. We're not relying on Denmark or anybody else to take care of that situation. And we're not talking about peace for the United States. We're talking about world peace. We're talking about international security. And right now, you look at it, you have warships all over the place going through right along Greenland. We're not going to let that happen. We cannot let that happen.
Well, staying in North America, and US Vice President J.D. Vance has said that demands for sackings over a security breach will be ignored. This comes after top national security officials added a journalist to a chat group discussing planned strikes on Yemen. Vance told reporters in Greenland, if you think you're going to force the president to fire anybody, you've got another thing coming. He made it clear that the administration is standing behind the entire national security team. Let's listen to those comments.
And if you think you're going to force the President of the United States to fire anybody, you've got another thing coming. President Trump has said it on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, and I'm the Vice President saying it here on Friday. We are standing behind our entire national security team.
At least 7 people were injured, with 1 in Sana'a. This was after Yemen's Houthi rebels reported multiple US airstrikes targeting over 40 locations across Houthi-controlled areas, including the capital Sana'a. Many provinces were affected, such as Sada, Marib, Al-Jaf. The targets included civilian homes, shops and military sites, including Sana'a International Airport and the mountainous region of Amran, where military installations are located, according to local reports. The US military's Central Command has not officially confirmed the raids, though the White House now grants authority for such strikes without pre-approval. The new air campaign follows threats from the Houthis to target ships in the Red Sea after Israel blocked aid shipments to Gaza for nearly a month. The Houthis claim at least 57 casualties from the US airstrikes, escalating tensions in the region.
شنت طيران العدوان الأمريكي الإسرائيلي عدة غارات على ضواحي مدينة صعدة مما أدى إلى استشهاد وجرح بعض المواطنين. نقول للعدو الأمريكي بأن الضرب هذا لن يثنينا عن.
Donald Trump has warned that Iran will face severe consequences if it fails to reach a nuclear deal with the US, speaking in the Oval Office. Trump said he recently sent a letter to Iran urging them to make a decision on talks or face bad things happening to the country. Trump emphasised that while his preference is to resolve the situation through diplomacy, failure to do so could lead to serious consequences. Trump pulled the US out of the 2015 nuclear deal in 2018, but now says he is open to negotiations to prevent further military escalation. Iran has rejected direct talks under current conditions, but has expressed openness to indirect discussions. Trump's comments come after he revealed in March that he had sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Despite his willingness for talks, the US has continued its maximum pressure strategy, imposing additional sanctions on Iran.
Iranian drones are attacking and killing Ukrainians every day. Why aren't you doing something about that?
Well, we're going to see what happens with that. I'm getting reports on that, and we're looking at a report. You're right. They make a lot of drones. Iran makes a lot of drones. They make very effective drones, too. They do very effectively at some things, but Iran is very high on my list of things to watch. And as you probably know, I sent them a letter just recently, and I said, you're going to have to make a decision one way or the other. And we're going to either have to talk and talk it out, or very bad things are going to happen to Iran, and I don't want that to happen.
We have some breaking news coming in, and at least 8 Pakistani soldiers and a civilian have been killed in separate attacks near the Afghan border. According to police, the incidents occurred in the northwestern Khyber province, which borders Afghanistan. Terrorists ambushed a military convoy, killing several soldiers, while another attack targeted a civilian, resulting in their death. The attacks are believed to be linked to insurgent groups operating along the porous border. Pakistan has faced increased militant violence in recent months, with security forces intensifying operations to tackle cross-border terrorism. We head back to North America, and US President Donald Trump and new Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney described their first phone call as productive despite ongoing trade tensions. The call, which came after Carney assumed leadership of Canada's ruling Liberal Party, was focused on the ongoing trade dispute between the two nations. Carney reiterated that Canada would impose retaliatory tariffs on US goods starting April the 2nd in response to Trump's planned 25% tariffs on vehicle imports, which could severely impact Canada's car industry. Trump called the conversation extremely productive, while Carney described it as very constructive. The leaders agreed to begin comprehensive talks about a new economic and security relationship after Canada's election on April the 28th. Despite Trump's past remarks, including his suggestion that Canada should become the 51st US state, the tone of the conversation was notably cordial. Carney has vowed to impose tariffs with maximum impact as Canada responds to US levies on steel, aluminium and other goods.
We're going to end up with a very good relationship with Canada and a lot of the other countries. But we had a very good talk, the Prime Minister and myself, and I think things are going to work out very well between Canada and the United States.
I mean the same thing. It was a very cordial, substantive call. this was a call between two leaders of their respective governments, between two sovereign nations. It was a call focused on, the spirit of the call was both cordial and focused on making progress, and that's why. J'ai informé le président que mon gouvernement mettra en œuvre des contre-tarifs pour protéger les travailleurs canadiens et notre économie, à la suite de l'annonce de nouvelles mesures commerciales américaines le 2 avril.
Well, that is all that we have time for, but we will continue to bring you more of the latest breaking news from across the world.